Okay, we're in level 4 here. Start at 3,000 chip stack, 12-minute levels, $30,000 guarantee, 50 plus 5 entry. I forgot to start recording at the beginning. This would be my third recording. Did not fare well in the previous 2 tournaments. But in this one, you know, I've been rather tight. I think I've only played a couple hands. I came into the tournament in level 2. Haven't really been opening in position or anything like that. Pre-ante period. I even folded ace-9 in the cutoff when it folded to me. Ace-9 off. I just folded in level 2 or 3, I think it was. Probably supposed to open there, but you know, I want to kind of have a tight image. I know that could be shot when I have to show a hand like 8-6 out of position. Let me see what I do here. Hold on, I'm going to raise to 160. So I pretty much flop the nuts here. Let's make it 145. So anyways, yeah, my image is kind of shot, but I won a big pot as a result of it, even though I got called when I made a big bet on the river with basically the nuts. As you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and play it. This is me over here with 8-6 of spades in early position at the 40-80 level pre-ante. I min raise to 160. I get flatted by the cutoff and the big blind calls. So I don't flop all that well, to be honest. Obviously not a good flop for me, but it does have an ace. Like I said, I have been rather tight, haven't really shown any hands. And I can pretty much represent there. I got 3 streets to try to do something. Plus I have a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw with an ace there, so I went ahead and bet 185. And I get called by the cutoff. And then the big blind, I believe, folds. Yes. So then I turn, whoops, wait here, hold on. Okay, he calls a 185. I turn the nuts. I mean, not the nuts, but I mean, I am losing to 8-jack, but I mean, you know, I basically have the nuts here. It's the gin card for me. Now I'm hoping he has an ace or he was slow playing a big hand. So I still bet small because I expect him to raise if he's got a big hand. Or he might raise as a bluff, given that my bet size is kind of weak there. Maybe he just calls, who knows. So I bet 295, and he did call. The turn card basically doesn't change anything. The flush did not get there. I'm still losing to 8-jack, which you know, I don't think he has. I'm hoping he's got aces up or a set, or he just doesn't believe me. So I make pretty much a pot-sized bet here. So I bet small flop, bet small turn, and then make a pot-sized bet on the river. I mean, it's kind of polarized. It looks like I either have a big hand or I completely whiffed and I'm bluffing here. So I went ahead and made a big bet, and he called me. He called me with second pair king kicker. I guess I got max value there. I think I played it well. Like I said, I did. My hand does look polarized, so he's obviously bluff catching there with a second pair. So, anyways, that was a pretty nice hand. I'm in 26th place out of 378. The tournament needs 600. I'm sorry, yeah, 600 players to meet the guarantee. and there's 482 so far that have entered. 378 remain. Obviously a bunch of people late registering, and I'm talking too much and I haven't been paying attention to how my opponents are playing. So back to watching the table here. Pretty nice pot. Unfortunately I did not see the action, so I may have to replay this hand. That's why it's important to see what type of lines your opponents make in what spots, especially when the guys are involved are sitting basically right next to me. So a nice value bet there with queens on a 3 flush board that paired, a 3 flush board that paired on the river. He basically goes all in position with queens. So let's see what how the hand played out. $5,100 level. He limps with King 10. Button raises to 350, calls. He check, calls. No, wait a minute. So the pot is 850 on the flop, and he checks top pair king kicker after he limp called. The button go ahead and bets 500. He calls a 500. The flush comes. Pretty coordinated flop there. 6, 7, 10, 2 clubs, and now the club hits. So he checks again, and my boy over here with queens value bets 1,200 into 1,850. I don't know if he has a queen of clubs. King 10 calls. I don't know if he has a club yet. We'll find out on the river at showdown. So he calls, basically 2/3 pot bet. All right. So the river pairs the board. So now there's a flush and a potential boat. Also straight out there. And he checks again. And seat 2 over here, pocket queens, goes all in position with queens on this board and gets called by King 10. So queens, queens bet the, hold on, I got jacks here. Queens bet the turn with the flush draw, and he had the overpair, and then he went ahead and shoved on the river and got called. So good value for him. Which was this guy, seat 29, was the guy with queens. Okay, so I got called by 3 players. You know, obviously I'm going to go ahead and c-bet this. I say obvious because got to get rid of some players, get some people with worse hands to continue. If somebody's got a 5, it's not good for me, but we'll see what's up. I'm not worried about the short stack here, so I'm not folding at any point in this hand. I mean, I say short, he's not technically short. He's got 1,500 chips at the 5,100 level, so that's 15 bigs, which I don't want to lose, but I'm not folding an overpair there. So who was the guy with Queen 10? I'm sorry, with King 10. Oh, So the guy with King 10 in that hand was seat 17. Yeah, seat 17 had King 10, and seat 29 had pocket queens in that hand. Oh, he wins with the flush. All right, so it doesn't matter. This guy has 500 chips left. Okay. Ace 10 on the button. I will be opening if it folds to me. I will not be calling it all in at this stage of the game. There's no antes, 14 big blinds. It's not worth the risk. Ace 10 off. I got one guy that covers me. This is definitely a fold. Oh my goodness. Ace 5. I guess it definitely wasn't a fold, but just don't think the risk is worth the reward there. Can be results oriented there, I guess. King, queen, offsuit. You got 3 X's. I guess I can call in position. He's pretty deep. He's not going to want a deeper player to be calling in position, so he might play a little bit conservatively post flop. So I flop 2 overs, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, and I guess I can, So he checks to me. I can take a stab at it. Don't think he's gonna fold his range though. What part of his range would he be folding? If I bet here, I may have to barrel. And I do have a bunch of good turn cards to barrel, but I don't think it's profitable to bet here. Let me just get a free card. Okay, that's a good card, I guess. So now I can go ahead and bet, I guess. Bet 300. I still don't think he's folding, but I think I can bet the river profitably. $7.75 is a good bet. And he might hero call with ace high here, which is what I think he has. Could have a hand like sevens. Ace queen, yeah. Thought he might have that. Okay. Interesting. I guess I'll have to have some people review that hand. I will be sending that over to Tournament Poker Edge and see what people think. I guess there's not too much to talk about there. I think he played it well. I think he could have played it better, but I'm going to play a lot of my value hands that way, and I'm going to be value betting thin also. So I'm going to be value betting a 9 or a jack on the turn. And probably pocket pairs between 9 and jack. I'm sorry, between, you know, I would even probably value bet pocket 8s on the turn. And on the river, who knows? I might bet pocket 8s as well. So anyways, he made a good call, but like I said, I'm gonna be value betting pretty thin there, because I pretty much put him on a hand like ace queen or sevens. Okay, pre-ante, king queen. It's kind of nitty to fold here, I guess. I guess I can min raise. No, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and fold. I just don't like playing out of position. I don't know. I think I normally open there, but because I'm recording, I feel like I should be folding, which is not the right reasons to do that. But maybe something's telling me that I'm playing a little bit too wide pre-flop, pre-ante, and now that I'm recording, I'm kind of being forced to think about it a little bit more, and I decided that probably better to fold king queen off pre-ante. The big blind only has 2850. He can shove over me. It's up for debate. I don't know. I forgot to start recording, so we missed two hands before that hand, and the first hand I was dealt, I think, was ace deuce of hearts in mid, or it might have been the second hand dealt, ace deuce of hearts in mid position, and I elected to fold it as well, open fold. So again, I don't know, probably it's okay to open there. Just don't think folding is bad. Some of these things might be, no-brainers. Like somebody might say, yeah, ace deuce suited in mid pre-ante is definitely a fold. I just don't know if that's true, if it's definitely a fold or not. Maybe it is. Again, something for TPE, perhaps. I mean, I have 40 bigs, ace deuce suited. I don't know. I'll leave it alone, and I'll see what others think about it. It's time to focus again here. Yeah, definitely folding there. I'm gonna go ahead and take some notes. So, questions for TPE or hand review, TPE, king, queen, under the gun +1, open fold, okay. It's king, queen off. And also, actually, ace deuce suited, mid, open fold, okay, question mark. Alright, a lot of action in this hand, getting pretty good odds here, but Queen 8 is just not something I like to play from out of position. Offsuit, not sure what my odds are, but looks to be a 15 to 1. Is that right? Again, I don't know if I should be calling here. I think I should. 260, no, it's not 15 to 1. Are you crazy? I gotta call 269. It's a fold. 269 to win, 1257. I'm getting, I guess, 5 to 1. Almost 5 to 1. Just don't like it. I don't know what I was thinking when I said 15 to 1. I was looking at the small blind. I was 75 chips in the small blind, and obviously the call has to be 269. I'm thinking a little bit too much. Under normal conditions, when I'm not recording, I think I just snap full there because it's intuitive for me that that's not a good call. But again, since I'm recording, I'm trying to think a little bit more and make correct mathematical decisions. So rather than being, intuitive here and going with my gut, I'm forcing myself to think about what the math is. Even though, obviously I do that, but not to the level of precision that I'm trying to do it now. So I think this is an obvious fold. Obviously I'm not calling. If anything, I would 3-bet it, but he's short. He's in early. And, just a fold there. What I did do over here is I put online versus live when antes kick in, average stack. And what I mean here is I'm just giving myself a note because I want to ask a question later to the TPE members. I find that in live tournaments when the antes kick in, people still have relatively deep stacks. Maybe average stack is 45 to 60 big blinds, maybe even more when the antes kick in. And online in this tournament, the average stack right now is 30 bigs, a little over 30 bigs. And let me make sure 40 or 41 divided by 150, yeah, 32 bigs. And we're not even in the ante period, so I'm kind of playing tight. When the antes kick in, I want to open up my game, which I think is what you're supposed to be doing. However, we're going to be, I'm not going to say short, but we're going to be in the 20 to 30 big blind range here, which makes things a little bit more difficult because I think you gotta tighten up. Okay, picked up ace king here. We're gonna go ahead and min raise. Guy folds 17 chips. Must be pretty bad hand there. Ace, king, backdoor Broadway, backdoor straight, backdoor flush draw, 2 overs. That looks like a bet. Of course, it's against a big stack, but it's a pretty good card. The 10 of hearts would have been a little bit better. I think I have to check here. There's 4 to a straight. If I check and he bets the river, I don't think I can call. If I bet and he calls, I can bet he could fold. I'm going to go ahead and check it. I'm pretty sure he's going to bet this. The 6 is not a good card. I got to fold here. Fortunately, got to fold. By the way, I never hit with ace king ever. Just kidding. Alright, we got 25 big blinds, pocket sevens and early. You know, you're not folding here, so you might as well min raise. This short guy calls. So if he checks, I'm gonna have to c-bet it. It took a while. There's something wrong with my mouse here. You know, I think I'm gonna bet small. If you miss completely, come on now. 285. Whoops. The question is, what do I do if he goes all in? I guess fold, huh? Am I inducing an all in by betting so small? Oh, God. You see, now I put myself in this spot here. You probably have some kind of massive equity here. 1365 to 128.35. What to do, what to do. Is he doing that with an 8? He could be. Could be doing that with a 5 for all I know. Could be doing that with a queen. An over and a flush draw, 2 overs. I don't know, I think I have to fold here, unfortunately. Alright, there's another one. Looks like the recording is slowing down my my lag here. I guess I don't know why I'm asking. You know, that seems pretty standard to just fold there, the pocket sevens. Even though the guy is quote unquote short. I think the question is, did I induce a shove by betting 285 on the flop and a 900 when the pot was 900? Well, folks, we're down to 15 big blinds. This is what happens, I guess, when you play too tight, but I mean, we did only start with 3,000 chips. Most of the tournaments that I prefer playing are a little bit deeper. I entered this one without checking our starting stack size, but this one said DS for deep stack, so I just assumed it was deeper than 3,000. I mean, the blind levels are pretty good at 12 minutes. It's better than most tournaments that I've seen online. But the problem is the 3,000 starting stack wasn't crazy about. I prefer at least 5. Even better the 10,000 starting stack. But it is what it is. We got to try and play here the best we can with a 15 big blind stack. We should not be worried about our current position or what the average stack is. That's irrelevant. We should just make good, sound decisions. And they got to do a better job of paying attention to the players here. You know, this Bovada thing, you can take notes, but but I haven't. I should be doing that. From what I remember pre-Black Friday on PokerStars and Full Tilt, if you take notes on players, those notes remain forever. So you could play with them in a tournament a month later, and I believe the notes are still there from that player. Obviously here it's what do you call it? It's anonymous. There are no names. You're always just a number. So the notes do not carry over. It just feels like a lot of effort to take notes on somebody when you'll never see them again. Or you'll never know you saw them again. Taking notes would be beneficial for that tournament only, and if you switch tables, there goes that, unless you see them again later in the tournament. It just seems like, is the effort worth it? I mean, in a live cash game, I'm taking notes in my head, so I can take notes in my head here as well. Even though I'm taking notes over here to the side, but this is for a bigger purpose. Wonderful. Blinds went up in my big blind. So I'm down to what, 12 big blinds? 11 big blinds. So I guess I got to defend here with under the gun min raise. The question is, what do I do if I flop top pair? Do I donk shove? What do I do if I flop a pair? I just hope I miss, I guess. But you can't fold to a min raise. Well, this guy made it easy for me. Okay. If it folds to me, I think I have to go all in here. 10 big blinds with king high. You know, the big blind wouldn't be happy about calling a third of his stack there. So small blind. King, queen. I think this is definitely all in here. King, queen off, on the cutoff, 8-handed. Big blinds. Is it a shove? I don't even think I need to ask that. That's obvious. Although it wasn't the cutoff, it was a hijack. I think that's why I was asking. Button cutoff hijack. It was in the hijack. Obviously these questions over here, ace-2 suited, mid-open, fold okay, king-queen off, under the gun +1, open, fold okay. Obviously this is just a reminder for when I go back and review the recording, I'll be able to remember those hands. There's a lot of missing information here to be able to answer these questions. I don't expect that people think that this is just a blanket question to be answered. Obviously it depends on stack sizes, what level we're in, are there antes or not. This obviously was in some of the early levels. This is the first kind of hands that I took notes on. I think it was right after the first break I got these two hands. I'm not sure what my stack size was at the time, probably a little bit over 30 bigs. So basically I have a garbage hand here, queen six offsuit. I'm not calling, maybe, I mean, you know, min raise probably should be a fold. Obviously this guy's going all in kind of wide, but queen six does not perform well against that. Queen six off. For kicks, we're going to do a little exercise here. Queen six off versus deck. How does it perform? How about versus half deck? Okay. Uh-oh, it's on me. I gotta go all in here. Queen high is good enough for all in. So, okay, so that's kind of funny. I had queen six off in the big blind and the button went all in. So the question is, how does it perform? Obviously it's a fold, but just for kicks, the question is, how does it perform against the entire deck versus how does it perform versus half the deck? Obviously the button is opening really wide, or going all in really wide there. But you can't call. And the very next hand, I'm in the small blind with queen six off, and it folds to me, and I shove, and basically it's against the entire deck. You know, his range there is any two cards. His calling range is not the entire deck, but his range at the moment of my all in is against any two cards. So I don't think ace four does very well here. As an all-in, so I'm going to have to fold. Queen six off, so in the small blind, like I was saying, queen six off, I went all in, and I expect to get a lot of folds there, and if I do get called, I've got pretty good equity, I think. At least 40% equity. You would hope. Queen two in the cutoff. You know, 13 big blinds or whatever. No, 12 big blinds, 12 and a half big blinds. Even if it folded to me, that would have to be a fold. Garbage hands. King high is not bad, but I can find a better spot. Big blind has too many chips. You might call me with any king. Obviously any ace. Plus that was in the hijack. So if it folded to me, I had to worry about 4 players, all of which have me covered. Just not a very good spot there. Oh boy. gotta pick up a hand here soon. Now we can take a look at what's up over here. Pretty sure we're pretty far away from the money still. Here's the top 81. 245 players left. Still a long way to go. King 9 suited. Can I pick a better spot? Probably not. This has got to be the best spot here. I know if I get called, it's not good, but just not going to find a much better hand with 9 bigs. Just gotta hope where you got 2 overs here. Or 2 live cards is nice. No, that's not good. That is not good. Alright, at least my cards were live.